Stop waiting for validation, for signs, for the stars to align. You are the sign. You are the light. Everything you need is already within. Huh. Your mind is your greatest tool, and your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. What you believe about yourself shapes your choices. What you focus on fuels your actions. You become what you continuously think about and act on. So think higher, choose better, act stronger. It doesn't start with talent. It doesn't begin with opportunity. It begins with belief, unyielding, undeniable belief in your own potential. You weren't designed to live in fear. You were built to rise through it. That fire inside you, it's not random. It's your calling, and it won't go away no matter how much you try to bury it, because it's not meant to be silenced. It's meant to lead you to your transformation. It's meant to lead you to your transformation. Stop asking the world if you're allowed to rise. You've always had the right to. Every champion, every success story, every legend you admire began the moment they decided to believe more in their power than their problems. Their faith wasn't built by comfort. It was forged through discipline, vision, and the refusal to settle for a life less than what they knew they were capable of living. Your transformation starts when you realize your story isn't over. It's just unwritten. It's just unwritten. And no matter how many pages were filled with pain or hesitation or regret, you hold the pen now. You are the author of the next chapter. The pen is not in the hands of the past. It's not in the opinions of others. It's not in the hands of fear. It's in yours. Senor, this is your moment to choose growth over excuses, courage over comfort, and action over waiting. Don't just dream about transformation. Be it, live it, start now, because now is all you ever truly have. That's every struggle is a seed. Plant it with purpose and water it with discipline. The moments that seem to break you are the ones that are preparing you. Inside every hardship is the blueprint of a stronger, wiser, more unstoppable version of you. Most people fear the struggle because they think it's a sign of weakness, but it is the exact opposite. Struggle is the sign that you are stretching beyond your limits. It means you are growing. The seed never blooms without pressure, without darkness, without resistance. In the same way, your trials are not there to destroy you. They are sculpting you into something unshakable. But this only happens when you choose to see your struggle as part of your becoming, not the end of your story. People often wait for perfect conditions to grow. They believe transformation should come easily, comfortably, painlessly. It demands sacrifice. The seed cannot remain whole and become a tree at the same time. Something has to break. Something has to die for something greater to be born. That death might be your old mindset, your old habits, your fear, your laziness, your self-doubt. And yes, letting go of these things will hurt, but clinging to them will cost you more. The life you want requires you to become someone stronger than who you were. That strength is not gifted. It is earned, built in silence, in consistency, in discipline. Discipline is the water that brings life to your potential. Without it, even the greatest seed withers. Discipline means showing up when you're tired, staying focused when distractions are loud, pushing forward when results are slow. It's not glamorous, and it's rarely praised. But discipline is what separates those who dream from those who live their dreams. It's the quiet repetition of excellence in the face of failure, doubt, and fear. Every time you choose discipline, you are watering your potential. Every time you keep your promises to yourself, you are building trust in your ability to overcome. Purpose is the soil in which your struggle becomes meaningful. Without purpose, struggle feels like punishment. But with purpose, struggle becomes training. Purpose gives you the why behind the pain. It reminds you that you are working towards something bigger than the discomfort of the moment. When you align your struggle with purpose, every hardship becomes a step forward. You stop resisting the process and start respecting it. You stop avoiding pain and start learning from it. You see obstacles not as dead ends, but as detours meant to sharpen your focus and elevate your resilience. No one sees the roots growing underground. No one applauds the seed while it's breaking open beneath the surface. But without that silent growth, there is no visible transformation. You are in your rooting season. You may feel buried, forgotten, unseen, but you are not stuck. You are preparing. You are developing the inner strength that cannot be shaken by temporary storms. When the time comes, your growth will be undeniable. But first, you must keep planting, keep watering, keep believing. Every struggle you survive makes you more capable, more confident, more prepared for the future you are building. Don't rush the process. Don't compare your timeline to someone else's. Flowers and trees both grow, but in completely different ways. The pressure you are under is customized for your journey. It's not random, it's intentional. It's forming you into the person who can handle the weight of the success you're asking for. You think you're fighting for results, but you're really fighting to become. And once you become the version of you that's strong enough, wise enough, and disciplined enough, the results will come. Success is never built overnight. It is cultivated daily through choices that feel small in the moment, but are massive over time. Wake up early, even when you don't feel like it. Show up for your goals, even when no one is watching. Keep learning, even when it seems like progress is slow. This is the work that compounds. This is the planting season. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were, everyone would be great. But the truth is, most people give up at the first sign of discomfort. They dig up the seed before it has a chance to grow. Don't let that be you. Remind yourself daily why you started. Remember that every struggle has a purpose when you give it one. Your pain becomes your power when you use it to grow. Struggle gives you something that ease never can: depth, character, grit. The ability to look fear in the face and keep moving anyway. The confidence that comes from knowing you've already survived what others thought would break you. The inner fire that can't be put out because it was lit by your own decision to keep rising, no matter what. This is how transformation begins, not in perfect moments, but in imperfect ones. Not with loud victories, but with quiet choices. The struggle is not your enemy. It is your foundation. Plant it with purpose and water it with unshakable daily discipline. You are not broken. You are becoming, evolving through pressure into unstoppable strength. Every scar you carry is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of survival, a badge of transformation that proves you are still standing after the storm. Life has tested you in ways you never expected, but every test carried with it a lesson. Every fall planted a new layer of resilience within your soul. Orquez. The world often wants to label those who feel deeply, who fall and rise repeatedly, as fragile or flawed. But the truth is, those very experiences are shaping you into someone fierce, focused, and unbreakable. You don't need fixing. You need remembering. You need to remember who you were before the world tried to quiet your voice, before fear wrapped its hands around your potential, before you started believing that pain meant defeat instead of transformation. What you've been through didn't come to destroy you. It came to awaken you. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt carved out space within you for growth, for strength, for clarity. Transformation doesn't look beautiful in the beginning. It looks messy, painful, uncertain. The caterpillar doesn't look like a butterfly in the cocoon. It looks like chaos. But in that chaos, a miracle is forming. That's the process you're in. The stage where it feels like everything is falling apart, but in truth, things are falling into place in a way you can't yet see. You're shedding layers that no longer serve you. You're being refined by fire, molded by resistance, reshaped by every hardship that tried to convince you to give up the people who told you that you were too much, too emotional, too intense. They saw glimpses of your power and didn't know how to handle it. But just because others couldn't understand your depth doesn't mean you should shrink yourself. You were never meant to fit into shallow places. You were meant to rise from the ashes of every breakdown, bolder and more grounded than before. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. You are not a victim. You are a creator. You are not too late. You are right on time for the rebirth that's unfolding inside of you. Evolving means releasing the version of yourself that was built to survive and stepping into the version that's ready to thrive. It means letting go of beliefs that were rooted in fear, of identities that were formed through trauma, of habits that were created as shields but have now become cages. Becoming your true self means facing those inner shadows, the ones you've hidden behind busyness, silence, or anger. Busyness, silence, or anger. It means walking through the darkness not to escape it, but to integrate it, to learn from it, to let it fuel your light. Your strength doesn't come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from standing tall in your imperfections. It comes from telling the truth about your journey and using your story as fuel instead of chains. The people you admire didn't become who they are because life was easy. They became that way because they chose growth every time life gave them a reason to give up. They chose to rise every time they were knocked down. They chose to believe in their vision even when everything around them said it would never happen. And that same power exists within you. You don't need to wait for some external sign to start becoming who you were born to be. The sign is the fire in your chest, the restlessness in your spirit, the refusal to settle for anything less than your highest potential. The sign is the way your heart breaks when you see others settle, because deep down you know there's more. You weren't made for average. You weren't made to simply go through the motions. You were made to create, to inspire, to lead, to heal, to love, to shine so brightly that you become a permission slip for others to do the same. There's a reason you felt different. There's a reason you've had to fight through battles that others can't even see. It's because your path requires more strength, more faith. But it also promises more growth, more purpose, more legacy. You are not on this journey by accident. You are being prepared for something that can't be taken lightly, and that preparation often comes disguised as heartbreak, confusion, loss, and solitude. But inside those experiences is the very strength that will carry you to your next level. You are evolving, and with evolution comes the shedding of old skin. That process is uncomfortable, sometimes painful. But it's necessary. You can't take old habits into a new. You can't build a powerful life on a foundation of fear and self-doubt. You must rise above the version of you that accepted less, the one that stayed quiet to make others comfortable, the one that played small, because it was easier than owning your light. That version got you here, but it won't take you where you're meant to go. Your pain is not in vain. It is part of your power. It is proof that you have endured and emerged with more depth, more empathy, more fire. You are becoming someone that can't be shaken by small things. Someone that refuses to break under pressure. Someone that uses every challenge as a stepping stone toward a greater destiny. You are becoming someone who owns their story without shame. Someone who walks with purpose and speaks with clarity. And while the world may not fully see you yet, soon it will be impossible to ignore what you've become. The future version of you is built by the decisions you make when no one is watching. The quiet hours, the unseen moments, the times you choose to push forward when quitting feels easier, those are the building blocks of transformation. It's not what you do when the spotlight is on you that defines your future. It's who you are in the dark, when motivation fades, when the applause is gone, when the results haven't shown up yet. That's where the real work happens. That's where the character is formed, where the strength is forged, where the vision is tested. When you show up for yourself in silence, you create the kind of discipline that can't be shaken by noise or distraction. There is a sacred power in doing the work without needing recognition. In waking up before the sun to chase a goal that no one else sees yet. In saying no to temptation because your future matters more than momentary comfort. In choosing growth when staying the same feels safer. Every decision you make in those private moments becomes a brick in the foundation of your best self. The world only sees the results. They see the transformation once it's loud, once it's visible, once it's undeniable. But the roots of greatness grow in the hidden places, in the silence of sacrifice, in the daily choice to show up again and again, even when no one is clapping for you. People will talk about your breakthrough one day, but they won't understand the process that got you there. They won't feel the pain of the early mornings, the missed opportunities, the lonely nights where you questioned if it was worth it. They won't remember the hours you spent building something meaningful while others were distracted by comfort. But you'll remember. You'll carry the weight of every hard choice, every moment you picked discipline over ease, every second you believed in something bigger than your circumstances. And that memory will become your pride because you'll know you earned every step of your transformation. It's easy to perform when people are watching. It's easy to post results, to share wins, to look successful. But the truth of who you're becoming is shaped in the unseen. In how you talk to yourself when no one hears. In whether you keep going when the work feels endless. In how you treat the dream when no one is celebrating you. This is where identity is shaped. When you stay committed not because of praise, but because of purpose. When you do the work not for validation, but because your vision demands it. You will never rise higher than your habits. You will never become what you don't consistently choose. Waiting for motivation to push you forward is a trap, because motivation comes and goes. But your future self is counting on your consistency. The version of you who is thriving, confident, powerful, that version is built every time you say yes to progress and no to distractions. Every time you put in the reps, every time you do the uncomfortable thing. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you are getting closer. Maybe you can't see the results yet, but you're not starting from scratch. You're building momentum, and momentum is the secret to breakthrough. There's no magic moment when transformation begins. It starts in a decision. A decision to no longer accept excuses. A decision to stop negotiating with fear. A decision to rise to the level of your purpose, not sink to the level of your circumstances. And once you decide, your actions have to match. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing what matters consistently. That consistency becomes confidence. That confidence becomes clarity. Empowered or uncertain, seen or invisible. Pay attention because energy doesn't lie. The right people won't just support your growth. They'll require it. They'll require it. They'll challenge you to take risks, to heal, to commit, to believe, to keep showing up. And they'll do it not by force, but by example when your circle is filled with those who have standards, who value time, who refuse to let fear decide their future. Something shifts in you. You stop playing small. You stop explaining your dreams. You stop asking for permission. You begin to own your lane, sharpen your focus, and walk with purpose. You don't need the world to believe in you. You just need one or two aligned souls who remind you that you're not crazy for wanting more, that you're not alone in your mission, that your dream is valid even if it hasn't materialized yet. But to have that kind of circle, you have to be that kind of person. Be someone who encourages, who speaks life, who celebrates others without envy. Be the kind of presence that lifts rooms, that brings clarity, that sees potential in people and calls it out. The more you become that energy, the more you attract it. You can't expect loyalty, honesty, hunger, and vision from others if you're not cultivating it within yourself first. The circle you desire begins with who you decide to be. Become so grounded in growth that anyone not on that frequency naturally fades away. Transformation is a lonely process when you're the only one growing, but it becomes a powerful force when you're surrounded by others on the same path. Your environment can become your engine. Choose wisely. Spend less time trying to convince people to understand your journey and more time connecting with those who are already running in the same direction. You don't need a large crowd. You need the right few, the kind who push you forward even when life pushes back, the kind who hold you accountable when your excuses get loud, the kind who speak to your future, not your fears. Build a circle where growth is the norm, not the exception, where wins are celebrated and setbacks are seen as setups for comebacks, where healing is encouraged and not mocked, where rest is respected but laziness is challenged, where prayer, planning, and persistence are all part of the culture. These people exist, but you have to become magnetic to them by doing the inner work. Let go of circles that only value your past. Step into spaces that demand your future. Let go of the need to be liked by everyone and lean into the power of alignment with a few. Your circle is your mirror. Upgrade it, and your life will follow. Surround yourself with those who remind you daily that your best self isn't a fantasy. It's a decision you live out one powerful connection at a time.